Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Saturn in conjunct Uranus in the natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them, in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, if you have Saturn in conjunct Uranus in the natal chart, an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between activities associated with work and the career, which is Saturn, and those that just may inspire you. You have a lot of inspiration for, which is Uranus. Now, one or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find balance and equilibrium between the two. Now, let's say, for example, if you have Saturn in Taurus, those or career-related matters may be tied in. Could be geology, carpet laying, architecture. It may involve art, music, finance, banking, doing something with agriculture, farming, gardening, cultivation, as some examples. And also, too, if you have this aspect in your natal chart, there may be an imbalance, which is the inconjunct, between activities associated with the father, which is Saturn, and your friends, which is Uranus. You may be dominated by one or the other. It could be where activities with the father may monopolize your time and energy to the expense and exclusion of activities with friends, or it could be the other way around, where you may be dominated by the activities with your friends to the point where you don't put hardly any time in for activities with the father. So again, the key is to find the balance, the equilibrium, and the harmony with this energy. Now, let's say, for example, if your Uranus is in Libra, the friends you have, one or more may actually be a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are very charming, diplomatic, tactful, refined, cooperative, balanced, fair, equitable, but maybe ambivalent and indecisive as well. Now, another thing about Saturn in conjunct Uranus in the natal chart, it could also be expressed in having too much or too little concentration, which is Saturn, on matters pertaining to one's goals and aspirations, which is Uranus. So at times you may strongly concentrate on matters with your goals, your aspirations, your objectives, which is Uranus, and other times you may just be, maybe oblivious to them, to the point where you're not putting any attention, any focus, any concentration on those matters. Now, if Uranus is in Scorpio, as an example, goals and aspirations, may be connected with locksmithing, psychology, the occult, which includes astrology. Some other things can include embalming, work as a coroner, a surgeon, doing something with investigation, deep research, forensics, insurance, taxes, working with loans, such as working as a loan officer, as some examples. Now, another thing too about this aspect is that you may at times have an exorbitant amount of inspiration, which is Uranus, to take care of responsibilities, which is Saturn. Then other times you just may not have any inspiration. There may not be any motivation or drive in those matters. So when you have inconjunct aspects in the natal chart, there can be a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy. It could be where you emphasize one thing one minute, and the other time, you emphasize the other side, basically of something. So, again, it's about finding, the balance, the equilibrium, the harmony with the energy. Now, the thing about this is, let's say, for example, If you have, say, if Saturn is in Gemini, the responsibilities you have may be manifold. It could be a variety of them, but it could be a lot of them tied in with communication and writings, assimilating information, getting information from others. It may be, something connected with manual dexterity, such as it's work involving the hands, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics. As some examples, it could be things involving short journeys, such as running errands, for others, as some examples. Now, and another thing about Saturn in conjunct Uranus in the natal chart and how it may manifest could be where at times you may extremely emphasize doing things in a conventional, which is Saturn manner, than other times, more, innovative, which is Uranus way. There may be, times where you emphasize more the true and the tried, the conventional, and then other times, more the eclectic or the unorthodox or ingenious, ways of doing things using, more modern and new technology. So it's just, a lot of emphasis on one or the other. So, I've stated this, example in other videos. I'll say it again. It could just simply be, as an example, how I think what we could set there's a way to set lights off in the house, remotely or through the computer or something, have it timed where they come on at a certain time. And, it could be where, that could be emphasized one moment, and the next moment, you just have, somebody kind of handy and just manually turn them on and off, as some real, basic example. Now, it's just, another thing about this aspect in the natal chart is that, the father, older people, and authority figures, which is Saturn, may either be very much in agreement with your objectives or extremely adversarial toward them. So at times these people may be very harmonious and very much in agreement with the objectives you have, and other times they may just say, I'm completely not, opposed, or I'm not with this at all. How could you, even consider that as an objective, And the thing is, let's say, for example, if Uranus is in Sagittarius, objectives, may be tied in, foreign travel, simply expanding horizons. It could be doing something with religion, philosophy, higher education, publishing, advertising, printing press operation, something associated with translation or sports, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that this aspect, may either be, exceptionally auspicious, or it could be very unfavorable for work, which is Saturn associated with something Uranus related, and that can cover a number of things. Work that is Uranus related may be tied in. It could be with astrology, humanitarian, altruistic endeavors. It could be something with robotics, meteorology, aviation, innovation, something with computers, as some examples. And the thing is, if you have, this aspect, in a natal chart, another thing about it is that, there may be times where you find, easily find that discipline and structure, which is Saturn, in matters pertaining to groups, clubs, and organizations, which is Uranus. Then there may be other times where you have tremendous difficulty, in doing so. So let's say, if Uranus is in Capricorn, as an example, groups, clubs, organizations, maybe with a lot of older people. It could be, ones that are connected with, business, politics, the government, dentistry, accounting, information technology, masonry, carpentry, as some examples. If Uranus is in Aquarius, as another example. Those groups, clubs, organizations may be connected with astrology, humanitarian, altruistic endeavors that may be associated with astronomy, computers, electronics, meteorology, innovation, new technology, aviation, as some other examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.